I'm using my left hand.
Very nice.
Not as
How
advised.
do you, how do you get your pinky that far down?
What do
I
you
can't
mean?
even do that. What the?
Hold on, let me try on this one.
How do you see this, David?
Yeah.
How? I
Like this?
I feel like I'm throwing up gang signs. I'm sorry. No one come fight me, please. It was an accident.
I don't know. I feel like Bateman can do it.
Yeah,
Must be us.
Jump up in a way web.
Like I can actually
Shazam!
do it.
For
I
using
needed to
your
do
left
it.
so you can use your fork with your right. Can I go all out. Last time I went, I was like, I'm not using a spoon or anything for this rice. I'm getting every little bit of it. I also figured out that's probably why they make rice so sticky too in a lot of traditional like Chinese dishes and stuff.
Sorry, I just read
Like you can
across
pick it up
Anita's
with
message.
chopstick.
Do you eat with your fork in your right and your knife in your left? Because that's how I do it, and that's the opposite way. But
I feel like that's how it should be done, but I always do it the other way, and then there's the awkward transfer when you go to take a bite, because then you like swap the knife back into your right hand, or sorry, you swap the fork back into your right hand to pick it up. It
well,
would
no,
be better if I cut with the left, but I
see,
don't.
I can't eat the way that Bateman is, like, because you're eating with the left hand.
It feels
Yeah, I have my fork
wrong.
right. So this is my fork, which is my right hand, and this is my knife. So I eat like that, and that's what I use to cut.
Oh, I missed the message before. Use a knife to cut food with either hand. Okay.
Oh, I can only cut food in my left hand.
It's one of those I just cut the food without thinking, and then I'm like, oh, now there's like the awkward pass between, because it feels weird to lift the food to my mouth with the left hand, like when it's a fork.
Because
When
when you
it's
think about it,
chopsticks, it doesn't feel weird, but when it's a fork, it does.
like I admit, like Bateman, when you have soup, do you use the spoon in your left or right hand?
Soup?
Yeah, like when you think about it, when you use a spoon for soup, you're not having a knife in your hand. So which hand do you eat the soup with?
I use my left because I use a fork or spoon in my left because my right is always because I'm right-handed,
Wait,
and to me, right hand is for the knife because that's where the action is.
she said for soup though.
But for soup, I'm holding a spoon.
Yes.
I hold the spoon as if I would hold a fork in my left hand.
Okay.
Wait,
See,
you eat soup with your left hand?
Yeah.
Wait, are you
Because
left-handed?
I'm right-handed. I'm right-handed, so I use a knife in my right hand and fork in the left. But when it comes to a spoon, because my left hand's already used to bringing food to my face, the spoon will do the same thing. My left hand.
Weird.
see,
Is it?
that's weird, yeah. Because mum and dad, I swear, they switch back to their right hand when eating soup, even though they're right handed when they eat, like with their knife in their left.
See,
And
this feels wrong
yeah.
because my right hand should be cutting, not giving food to my face. Of course, when you have soup, you only have spoon, no knife. But my left hand is used to doing the job of a fork, and therefore it can do the job of a spoon.
See, I eat the same way as Bateman does, but I'm just opposite. Hence why, like, my fork's my left, like my right hand, so my spoon would be in my right hand. But my knife's always going to be my
I
left
couldn't
hand.
do a knife with my left hand because the cutting, I need to use my strongest hand. That's my right.
But that's the thing. I feel like my strongest hand's actually my left hand, but yet I write with my right hand.
It seems when it comes to cutlery, our dominant hand seems to go all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll say too. It's like I'm not picky at it. What eat how you want to eat, but
See,
it's just it's a weird concept to me to be right-handed and use left to eat. Because for me, if I cut stuff, I cut it with my right hand while holding my fork in the left hand. But then when it goes time to stab it and put the food in my face, I swap and I hold the knife with my left while I use my right hand to pick the fork
So you
up.
actively change.
I do, which I know is also weird, but it's I don't know.
You need to learn to cut things in your left hand so you don't have to swap it.
Well, it's not that I can't cut it with my left hand. I just don't think about it. It just feels
Fair
weird.
enough. Like, I got told a lot, especially in school, that I was eating a left-handed way while I wasn't left-handed, which is quite funny because my cousin, well, actually, me and Bateman's cousin, is actually left-handed, but he eats the right-handed way. So even though his dominant hand is his left, he actually has the knife in his right hand. No, yeah, knife in his right hand, like Bateman. But he has it the opposite way to me, even though he's left-handed and I'm right-handed. That makes sense?
Yeah.
No, I'm confusing myself now. Because every time I go to a restaurant, I already got to switch I have to switch the cutlery around for myself because it's wrong. But I don't know how I picked it up that way. Because obviously, mum and dad would have taught us to eat the same way they did, but yet somehow I switched it somewhere along the way.
How weird it
I'm
is
just
when
kind of stuck.
playing baseball or golf and which hand you swing with predominantly. Yeah, my nephew's left-handed, and it was weird because we went to one of those, what was it called? I want to say it's called Top Swing. It's like a chain where they have, like the places where you can just hit golf balls out into the range.
Oh,
They
golf
actually
range.
they have it set up kind of like a bowling alley, so it tracks the ball when you hit it, and they actually have rings out there, and it tracks where the ball goes, and you actually get points. But it was weird when we were there and seeing my nephew swing with the other hand, him being a lefty.
Dem, do you remember when us three and obviously Queenie went to that crazy golf thing?
Yes, I was actually just looking at the footage for that a couple days ago.
I swear during that whole time I was switching hands.
I was switching hands for a lot of that because of the cramped space. You kind of had to.
Yeah, but I swear I was switching it not because of the crowd space. I'm like a tiny person, but I feel like 'cause I didn't know which one was more dominant. I think it ended up being I swung better with my left than I did with my right. I don't know. I might be wrong. I can't remember it properly because my memory is awful. But I remember switching it a lot, like going back and forth.
You might have.
Mm. But I always bowl my right hand though.
Bull with the right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That was an interesting conversation about left and right-handed though, for colourful reasons.
I want soup now.
Oh, what is your favorite
Right-handed
soup?
batter bat with the left arm towards the pitcher and vice versa.
I do love tomato soup. I know it's basic, but that's always a go-to. But I did get a craving for bacon lentil soup. That's quite nice.
Bacon lentil soup. I've never heard
Really
of
good.
such a thing. Sounds good.
It's good.
Pat Bateman also found another bacon soup that you might like. It's actually called smoked bacon and potato soup.
That
That does sound glorious.
I've had bacon and potato soup.
Mm.
Might have been smoked. I don't know.
This smoke and Dad did recommend it. I don't know if you're going to prefer it to bacon and lentil, but he said it was good. See, my favourite soup, and it will always be my favourite soup, is potato and leek.
Potato and leek?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's quite Welsh, I would say.
I think that was one of the options at the wedding.
That was the option at the wedding, yeah. But obviously, people thought it was pea soup because of the colour, but it was potato and leek, and it was really nice.
It looked nice. Everything at that wedding was nice. My goodness.
Mm.
So good.
It was quite a nice intimate wedding, I would say, because it wasn't like a massive wedding. It was lovely.
I think I had like some kind of fish cake or something.
Well, you had to say I was Bateman, didn't you? Bateman?
Yeah.
Was it fish cake you had at the wedding?
Yes. I couldn't remember then. Yeah, it was.
Oh wow.
Just a
Oh.
thought. When you eat a snack, Bateman, which hand is the snack in?
Well, that's a non-cutlery but similar topic.
Like when you have like a biscuit in your hand, or you eat crisp, which hand is the crisp in when you eat it and put it to your mouth?
Okay, I think I've been a bit mixed on this.
Okay.
The more I think about it, I'm remembering me using both. Sometimes it could be swinging both hands, but then if it's one or the other,
If I'm holding a pack of
maybe the
crystals.
left. Maybe I do use the left a lot more.
Okay,
Bring
so when
food
I
to
hold
my
a
face.
because also incidentally pack of crystals I just ate before stream. But I hold a crisp my left, like the pack in my left, and I eat out with the right.
I do hold it in my right hand, and I eat with the left. Yeah.
Oh, so you definitely you're right.
Yeah. It
Okay.
seems with food, I'm more of a left, but when it comes to writing and other things that are hand based, it's right.
Yeah, but then
I
then
use
you
that
eat the
phrase
left
very
hand
lightly
way.
then.
No, you eat the right-handed way though, so it's very weird. Sorry, I just had a thought about snacks then, 'cause that's no cutlery. I wonder if you went back to using your right hand more. Sorry.
That's
It's funny,
funny.
when I vape, I use my right hand.
That's funny. I think I
Thank
heard a
you.
Queenie laugh through your mic.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
she's
looked
I
up
just-
like, wait a bit. Oh, she's played with Kevin all then. Right.
Actually, I think
It's
Kev's
not
on the
Kev, it's
bed.
Wicca.
Queenie's
Yeah.
It's in
played
Kev's
DBD with
channel though.
Wicca.
Mm.
But for little fun fact, I'm actually lurking there now. If I'm correct, which I believe I am, yes, Queenie's playing with Wicca, and Ginger Squid and Coblets are playing it for the first time.
Ginger Squid and who?
What?
Ginger Squid and iCoblet. They're
Oh yeah.
Love
they're,
that.
they're,
Very
they're
nice.
new to the game, and they're sort of giving them the ropes.
Very
Oh,
nice.
that's nice.
So I can see why Queenie's laughing so much. I didn't realize it came through on the mic.
Oh, it barely did. It honestly, it probably didn't. It probably didn't pick up on stream.
I didn't hear
Never
it,
know.
honestly.
Even if
My
it did,
stream's awful.
I don't mind. I just barely heard it. Like, what is? Oh, I think that's what it is. What was I doing? Oh, I remember what I was doing.
Has
I
anyone
forgot
watched
to
any good?
switch my logo back.
Has anyone seen any good TV shows, films? I don't know.
I actually started watching that Netflix show called Big Mouth.
What's that?
I never tried the show because the animation pisses me off.
What is it?
Yeah, Queenie suggested I watch it because she was, oh yeah, this is definitely up your alley. Because I enjoy watching Rick and Morty. So she thought oh, with the human stuff you might like this. It's basically an animated show about early teenagers discovering hormones.
It's about middle
No, thank
schoolers,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, they're about 13 years old. It's animated, and like the boy in the show has like this hormone demon that he can see, and he's like teaching about hormones and stuff. It's a weird show.
So wait, is this hentai for you?
No, no.
I hadn't thought about it, but that description does sound like you're describing hentai.
It does a bit now, yeah.
Have I just got my own back on?
I think it's
Bateman?
best just Google the show, and I think that's probably the best thing you can do.
I mean, you started off with the main premise of like anime in general is teenagers discovering hormones.
Yeah.
Am I
You
wrong?
just described like at least 70% of anime.
Am I wrong? See, you guys joke about this to me, but I finally got my own back on Bateman.
What kind of Squid Game are you talking about exactly?
So neither of you have watched Big Mouth then?
No.
No.
I've
You know
only
me.
watched. I've only just started series 2. Or season 2.
Like you know me. If anyone I doubt anyone in your chat really watches Korean or Chinese dramas, but if you do, let me know. I need to talk to someone with the same sort of interest because not everyone will actually watch them, which is fine. But it just makes it a very lonely place for me to complain about some dramas.
I still have that what was it, like 3 months of Apple TV Plus I think I got for doing a Twitch sub a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching a show on there called Shrinking, which is about psychologists, therapists, maybe I don't know, I still don't get the difference between a therapist and a psychologist. I think they're therapists.
Mm.
um,
Fair.
I think the difference really is I think a psychologist can prescribe medication. A therapist just does the vocal. I think that's the difference. Could be wrong. I don't know. There's a psychologist or a therapist in chat. Feel free to
I think a therapist can
change.
prescribe some medication, but only certain things, I think.
Maybe.
I don't.
But yeah, it has Jason Segel, who was Marshall in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, he's a good actor.
And a little known actor, an older guy. You may have heard of him. His name is I think it's Harrison Ford. Yeah, he's in there. Which I never knew I needed a show with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford before.
Oh, by the way, you are right. Therapists cannot prescribe medication. Only psychologists.
Yay!
I just did a quick search. It was going to know me if I didn't know the answer.
Yeah, Harrison Ford, Jason Segel, and a few other people.
Sounds like an interesting cast, actually.
You ever watched Scrubs? I think it's done by a lot of the same people who did Scrubs. I noticed Zach Braff. He's not in the show, but I've noticed he's directed a few of the episodes.
I've only seen a little bit of Scrubs.
And there's the one actress who played Dr. Cox's wife or ex-wife. I think it's his wife. She plays the neighbor on the show. Very opposite to her character from Scrubs. Kind of cool. Pretty good though. If anyone still has their Apple Plus TV subscription, I'd recommend checking it out. I'll be honest, I found a few good things on Apple TV Plus. I haven't found enough to keep me there, so.
I find a lot of the shows that I like are on Prime, Netflix, and Disney Plus, and those are the only three I really use. Apart from Vicky, which I use for like the Korean stuff, but you can find a lot of shows on there quite free to watch with just ads. Also, you do have to pay for, but I find them like on the other channels. So it's like, yeah.
For my US viewers here, I'm gonna give some decent advice, at least in my opinion. If you want to save some money, if you have Disney Plus and Hulu, cancel Hulu and pay a little bit of money to get a decent VPN because they're kind of cheap. And just VPN into the UK, because pretty much everything Disney or Fox put onto Hulu in the US, they just put it on Disney Plus in the UK because they don't have Hulu.
We don't.
No.
You know how weird it was where I'm like, where can I watch the Predator franchise? Or like Disney Plus UK. Like,
yeah,
that seems like a Disney show or a Disney movie. Yeah.
I tell you what, this isn't on Disney Plus, but I finally, after many years, I finally caught up on all the Saw films.
I still haven't. I haven't watched the newest one.
We just went on Amazon and just got them on there.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really rushing to finish the new one. To watch the one. I also fell asleep during Spiral.
Oh right, I haven't seen Spiral yet, but that's the one that was kind of like, I'll see it whenever. It's not connected, like, it's just it's its own thing.
I haven't seen any of these shows.
When he was like, "Oh, don't bother with Spiral. Just watch that whenever." And, we don't want to see that. But so I was like, "Okay, fair enough." And
Spiral has Chris Rock, and I think Samuel L. Jackson was in that one.
Yeah, I'd only seen the first 4 like 10 years ago, and I rewatched the first 4, and then I'd seen Saw 10 in the cinema when it came out. So I had to catch up with 5, 6, and Final Chapter, and Jigsaw. So I've finally seen those films now, so I'm up to date.
It's the same director as Saw 2 through 4 for Spiral.
Hello,
yeah, it's Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I will watch it definitely. But I heard it wasn't great, and because it's like its own thing, I think it's only connected by lore. It's not by story at all.
Who knows? Yes, hello EJ. How you doing?
EJ.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
pulled up a tab and I didn't have my chat up.
Yeah. I saw 10 in cinema because I knew it was set between 1 and 2 and it wouldn't spoil the ones I hadn't seen at the time.
So why didn't they
But
call
now
it
I've
Saw
seen them,
2.5?
It may as well have been Saw X is 1.5.
Sorry, 1.5.
And there's going to be an 11. They're doing 11.
Is 11
I'm already
between
confused.
2 and 3?
It could be, or it could be between 10 and 2.
Is where you're supposed to put your hand when you're driving?
Yes.
10...
It's a car film.
But is that really right with it? Put your hands while driving 10 and 2?
Not anymore.
You're supposed to. But I'd
They
actually say
changed
not
it.
10 and 2 is what they taught us when I was learning, but it should be 9 and 3 really, because I think you have better control of the wheel when it's 9 and 3 rather than 10 and 2. Also, if your airbag
Yeah.
goes off, if you're 10 and 2, the airbag will hit your arm on the inside and actually injure you. If you're at 9 and 3, the airbags will just brush your hand. And I know this from experience.
That's what I mean.
never
I
had
got
airbag
taught
off.
9 and 3, which is why I was so confused when people say 10 and 2, because I mean, that's up here. Like,
They've
I got.
acknowledged
only
9 and 3 is better.
They
Yeah.
only changed it within the last probably 5 or 6 years, I think.
Yeah, and
That makes sense.
I learned 11 years ago, so
Yeah, you would have been like right at the end.
yeah, I was taught 10 and 2, but after learning to drive, I defaulted to 9 and 3 because it was more comfortable, and then turns out that was actually the better thing to do. And yeah, true. When
9
it
and
comes to
3
airbags,
is-
I've had an airbag go off on me once, and my entire hand was red. But had that been the inside of my arm, that would have been much worse.
Mm.
Airbags are scary.
I have not been in that situation, and I hope I never will.
It's not nice. It's
It's not.
Like, the closest I got to a situation is when I broke down, and this is like the first car I ever driven. I was up in England somewhere. I was on my way home, and at the time I was using a sat nav that was out of date, so the road changed its markings, and I didn't realize that, so I was in the wrong lane. Like, it was safe for me to move because there was nothing behind me, luckily, because it was late at night. But I didn't move into the other lane in time, and I hit the curb, and I thought everything was fine. And then, like, I thought everything was fine. I was still driving, but then when I got to the next roundabout, because I was driving straight, as soon as I turned, I hit the tire so bad that I dented the wheel, like the metal frame. So when I went round the corner, all the air went out the tire, so it became flat. So obviously, I couldn't drive anywhere. I was like, I don't know how to change a tire. I'm nowhere near home. I'm in the wrong country. What do I do? No one would pick up their phone.
Sounds so
Honestly.
dramatic when you say in the wrong country.
In UK terms, yeah, not really. I mean, England, Wales, Scotland, we're all linked.
I was on the wrong side of the border.
It just sounds funny though.
I was on the wrong side of the border. But like I said, no one would pick up their phones. Literally, I couldn't get a hold of anyone. So I was just stranded in this car late at night. No idea what to do. Because I literally only passed my test that year as well. Like, it was a few months later. But still, like, it's not like I had loads of experience.
I think that part of the driver's test they should have a tire changing portion of the test, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
I will agree, but however, that's not going to work in a lot of cases these days because a lot of cars do not include spare tires now.
You can still buy one.
Yeah, and also you gotta make sure that you actually have a jack in your car as well to be able to take the tire off. Like, if you don't have a jack, you can't take it off.
A lot of cars that include spare tires tend to have like a mini sort of jack. My last car did, but my car now does not have a spare tire nor a place to put a spare tire. But it does include a emergency bag.
How does the bag work?
An emergency bag, as in, I think, just some basic, maybe like.
You throw it at the cars coming past. Go, hey, help me!
I think it's more like. I think I need to have a look inside again. It's been a while, but like I think it's just a few safety bits, and if it's like a little puncture, there'll be an actual puncture repair kit in there.
Okay.
But if it's like a completely like you have to change the tire situation, you have to call breakdown service, which fortunately I can do because I'm anywhere in the UK. I'm covered. So
Well, that's good.
Well, I think you kind of have to be for breakdown.
you do, yeah. So even if it's a case, because when I last called for breakdown service, one of the things they asked me was, "Do you have a spare tire?" Because it's so common to not have one anymore because they're just not including them.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's because it's cheaper
Um,
not to include spare tires.
It's
Like,
cheaper, and I guess it's also easier for manufacturers now because they don't have to include a space for it.
I still think they should, though. I
Well,
think
it
it's just
depends.
easier for them. I get it from the manufacturer side because so many people weren't using them because they never bothered to learn it once roadside assistance became more popular.
But you know, the issue now, like if you don't have a spare tire, it's going to take longer for them to get to you because you got to pick up a tire on the way. Because also each
A lot of
car's a different
roadside
type.
assistants already have them back at their place, or they'll at least have a donut.
Yeah, because I was going to say some tires are different from other cars depending on the size of the car as well.
My
I don't know
last
what
car, the spare tire was actually a size like it was thinner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
that's what
they're not meant to be on the motorway.
we call them a donut.
Last week
Oh,
was right.
right. We just call them skinny tires.
Mm. Yeah, they're limited
Yeah,
to
because you're
50
only
miles per
supposed to
hour.
drive. Yeah, I've seen 40 to 50 depending on them.
Yeah. So when I obviously had that damaged tire back in when I was in England, luckily someone came out and changed it for me because I had breakdown cover, but I obviously never knew how to call them. So in the end, luckily, I finally got hold of someone, and they got hold of someone else. So obviously, we done it without like breakdown cover and stuff. They came and changed tire for me, which is very nice of them. But obviously, the tire was actually the skinny one, and we couldn't
That's
get.
one of the.
I had to
Yeah.
I'm
change a
surprised you didn't
tire.
check your breakdown cover.
Well, the thing is, Bateman, I would have done it that way, but the problem is, I never rung breakdown before, and I didn't have the number on me. And mum and dad just came back from holiday that day, so they
That was
didn't
the
really.
first thing I did when I got insured was save the breakdown number. That was the first thing I did.
Oh yeah, I should have done that, but I didn't. So I didn't have the number, and mum and dad couldn't really remember the number. And it was also like at the time I was in shock. I never done anything like this. I was like, what? I was like 19 years old, 18, 19. I was shaking. I was not able to go on the phone to break down to explain what I did. And I was in such a panic trying to get hold of someone because I couldn't get a hold of anyone for ages. I was stuck in that car for half an hour. Whether I wasn't sure if I should sit in the car or outside the car.
Oh, well, that depends where you are, really.
I found a lay-by luckily, but I was still on basically an A road
See, a
off a
lay-by's fine.
roundabout.
I think it's more if you're on hard shoulder of the motorway, you have to get out behind the barrier.
Well, I was more like on a harsh shoulder of on an A road, but there was no barrier to stand behind. Well, there was one, but the problem is the ground, like the grass was too close to the barrier, so I couldn't get behind it without being up a hill, and it was
You're probably
raining.
meant. You probably are meant. You're probably. You know, I think you are meant to be outside. I think it's like if you're like in like a place where cars park on the side of the road, then yeah, you
Mm.
stay in, I guess. But if it's like a main road, yeah, you're supposed to get out.
Well, I think I did in the end, but it was so cold. This is
So
going back in
Yeah.
October years ago, and I was freezing, so I went back in the car.
If they say it's cold,
But I
it's
sat.
probably cold.
Oh, I was shaking from like the shock of it and freezing cold. So I was like sitting on the passenger seat. 'Cause I thought if a car hits me, I'm on the passenger side, not the driver's side next to the road.
Yeah. What did you say your preferred house temp was, Bateman?
What now?
Your preferred temperature to keep the house at?
That's a. I definitely said that before, but it's somewhere around
What did you consider boiling?
anything over 20 degrees Celsius.
Anything over 20.
So I like to be below 20, but above 10.
So, any Americans in chat, do you happen to know what 20 degrees Celsius is offhand?
Don't matter if you like don't like going above 20 now.